Hi, I'm Sue Serio from Fox 29. April is National Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Month, and we're going to talk about folks that get that job done, from Justice Rescue. Wolf, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having us today.
You're like Cher, right? You're Wolf.
Yeah.
Okay, Wolf, we're going to take a look now at a picture that's very difficult to look at, but it's a dog named Dolly.
Yeah.
And you took this picture?
Yeah, I took that picture when we rescued her.
Did you cry?
I got teared up. Yeah.
How could you not?
Yeah.
Now tell me the story about Dolly.
Yeah, what you don't see, I mean, that's just a quick snapshot of after we had already rescued her and arrested, the abuser. Mm-hmm. The abuser was arrested. You get a feeling, even though I'm there and I'm doing something about this, the helplessness that I feel, because not only am I looking at her, I have all the flashbacks of all the other ones that I've ever helped. And what gets me more than that is, where are these other ones that I don't know about that I can't go help? Mm-hmm. And, Dolly's situation was very bad. She was being punished for urinating on the floor. She was locked in an abandoned section of the house. It was like a dungeon. She had no food. Her water had mice in it.
Oh.
And she was just completely broken. She didn't know what to do when we went in there. We worked with other local police when we went in there. And she really was so fearful. And what you're seeing in this picture, even after the rescue, we had to have her leg amputated because he beat her with a stick until he broke her leg. And we have documented testimony of 30 to 50 times in the recent days that he did that. So we were able to rescue her and provide the medical help that she needed, and it was thousands of dollars to do that. But how do you say no?
Right.
How do you say no? And she is the most absolute loving, sweet dog that you would ever imagine. And it takes a lot of time to rehabilitate a dog like that, to show them love, to show them trust. And she actually has become your normal dog. She can walk up to people. You're seeing her here in this picture, and she's very fearful because she just urinated and she thought she was going to get beat for it.
Yeah.
But now she's becoming the happy puppy baby that she can enjoy life as a dog now.
So that's an example of a sanctuary dog that you have to maintain the care and feeding of that dog for as long as it takes.
She will be able to be adopted, so she won't be a sanctuary dog, but we did have to maintain the medical and maintain her care while the court case is going through.
Right.
With that, she'll be adopted. She's a very friendly, happy dog. She'll never go back to that environment. We actually had already had her surrendered to us. So, we don't have to hold her for court at this point, but she'll be adopted. The sanctuary dogs are more of the dogs that haven't been able to come out of that fear. They love us, but they don't trust anybody else. Right. They won't live safely in an environment.
Now I understand. So these are the dogs where you provide the sanctuary because you're the only ones who can really care.
Yeah, and I mean, they're very comfortable where they're at. Yeah. I mean, I do believe that there's a home for every dog. Until I find one for each one of those, they'll stay with us forever.
Doesn't it amaze you, though, how a dog can suffer so much and still trust and love again?
It's absolutely amazing to me how resilient they are. I've seen owners terribly torture, abuse, inflict so much pain, and the dogs still come back to them wanting to love and kiss them. It's like,
it's unbelievable.
Can you imagine? Can you just for 1 minute imagine what they're thinking, how they feel? They don't have a point to rationalize, and it's like, why are they doing this to me? All they want to do is love them. All I want to do is, be part of their family.
Right.
And for them to get, to receive that kind of treatment, can you just imagine? Just, being in that circumstance and not knowing how to please and having the learned helplessness that this is just part of my life. I'm here to be hurt and tortured, but that's okay. I'll still love you.
It's unbelievable.
It is.
What is, I guess, your theory? Why do people do things like this? Where does it come from?
I really have been sleepless nights trying to figure that out, because if you find the cause, you find the solution. You can try to develop the solution.
Exactly.
But there hasn't been one thing over another that radiates as far as what causes it or what causes that. that person to think that this is okay. One thing that has really opened my eyes is one of those things, like I said, you just can't accuse somebody of doing something without really knowing the situation in its totality. Learning about how children's bullying works. We run anti-bullying campaigns, primarily started because of recognizing that children that bully other children, that same child that is being bullied might take that out on animals. It's associated strongly, actually.
And when you get people, when they're small, then maybe you can prevent abuse when they get older.
Yeah,
So that's what you're trying to do, I guess.
Yeah, we're hoping to, and part of the analysis of the why people do that, there's some people that have had very heinous abuse themselves in life, and trying not to judge them. I love animals. I believe than any other man alive, and I risk my life on a daily basis trying to save them. And part of the thought of that is you can't just run out and do it, because you're putting a lot of animals in danger. You're, if you just jump to it, you're hiding a lot of other crimes. And that's where working with state, local, and federal police together as a unit, I mean, we're experts when it comes to animal cruelty and animal, law enforcement. But all of these other crimes, we don't have the training, we don't have the ability, we don't have the experience that they have. So it's very likely that we could be investigating an animal cruelty, and they're investigating drugs and guns or child abuse, and we cross ties and hurt each other. So working together, that's their backyard. Wherever we go, whether it be in the state environment, municipal environment, we contact the local police first and see if they have an investigation, see if they would like our assistance. And I got to tell you, 99% of the time, these local police officers jump right on board.
Well, I'm sure they're grateful
for
your expertise in your area, so that they can do what they do best.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times that one of the police officers has told me, veteran, high-ranking police officer said, we had no idea that you existed. We would have been using you for years. So, with our Facebook pages, it rocketed. I remembered when we first got our 1,000 likes, right? And we were just ecstatic over those 1,000 likes. We couldn't believe that many people were going to support in what we do.
And where are you now?
Now reaching 300,000.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and they're all organic, followers.
Yeah. So, and I guess and you do urban, you do suburban, you're national now, as you said.
Yes.
What's the biggest difference, or is there a difference in situations that you find maybe in a city versus a suburb?
There's really no differences between cities and suburbs. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to generally go in Philadelphia and find a farm full of cattle that aren't being fed, right? But I will find, other animals,
so maybe
and vice
it's the
versa.
types of animals.
Yeah.
But sadly, I guess it's just everywhere. Now, as far as punishment, when people are finally convicted, do you feel that the punishments are harsh enough for animal abuse?
I would like to see a lot more changes in the statutes and harsher punishments for people that have been convicted of animal cruelty. But I would also like to see more proactive plans, proactive support within communities that, one, recognize it. I think, kind of like a town watch, recognize animal abuse, learn how to recognize animal abuse, learn how to handle it, provide support to people. In this general area, we have animal control, right? So if you have a dog that's running out in the street, or if you have an abandoned cat, we have people that will travel around picking up these, and we call them dog catchers, picking up these animals and taking them back. There's very limited care and control program. And the care side is educating the public, getting them resources. There's many people that don't even know in Pennsylvania that you have to have your dog licensed.
That's true. I actually just found that out myself recently and just got my dog. We've had a dog 8 years, and I just got the license for our dog. So that is a good thing to know. Yeah.
Rabies vaccinations. Rabies vectored animals are increasing, year to year. There's more reports and more, animals contracting rabies. So rabies is out there, but learning how to teach people how to adjust their collars, what's acceptable as a doghouse, what is not, what's going to protect it from its environments,
Right.
how the dog's going to live. Training. A lot of animals, a lot of dogs are put outside because they're not trained inside the house and people don't know how to handle it. And I'm not making exceptions. I would never, or nor do I condone having an animal chained outside.
Right.
However, when we're looking at the root cause, as you just mentioned, why are they out there?
Right.
Did they just take this dog, put it outside, chained it up, and be like, you know what, I'm going to watch this creature, on the chain for the rest of his life? Some do.
Right.
But you can't
But not
just
everybody.
assume. Yeah, some, the dog's tearing up the house. They've tried. They can't afford training. Dog training is very, very expensive.
It is.
And like I said, I'm not condoning it, but if we can provide more proactive resources and proactive care within communities, I believe that we'll see a turn in the amount of people. And then that leaves us, if we can help the people that want help, we can provide resources to the people
Kind of steer them in the right
that will
direction.
accept it. Now I'll feel a lot better of holding accountability to the ones that just choose animal abuse, choose to torture, choose to neglect, choose to do these things. We can be more proactive on making arrest and holding accountability, because now we can show that there was intent. We provided resources.
Right.
We've done everything we can. You've chose to treat your animal this way at this time. Now that's for the everyday general neglect and sanitary environments, things like that. Then you go to the opposite side of the spectrum, in which Justice Rescue really specifically goes for, and that's the dog fighting, the
That's more or less your
torturing.
specialty, I guess, because you've encountered it so much.
Yeah, and the investigations take a long time to be able to follow it back, because you'd want to, just arrest everybody.
Right.
But you have to prove that they were dogfighting. You have to prove that there was intent. You have to prove that it was willingly and maliciously. So you have to prove these things. So investigations take a long period of time, and they, you're arresting for a felony, right? So you have to support the legal system, and they're going to get a defense attorney. And your arrest and your crime scene investigation, your overall investigation needs to be rock solid. Otherwise, they're going to get off, right? They're going to get off of, in which a good defense attorney in a lot of cases can do that. If your game's not right, they're going to find the holes.
So you have to really make sure everything, the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, and you're part of the investigation.
That's right.
Um,
And one
go ahead.
of the worst parts to that is, if I lose, I have to give that animal back.
Oh, it must break your heart.
Well, I've never had to do that.
Okay, because you must be doing your job very well.
I've never had to do that. Doesn't say that I
Yeah.
won't, but you're right. It will crush me, because you would think, well, now you remove that animal from that environment, whew, everything's good. But the reality is that animal, and different states have different statutes, but most states treat animals as property.
Yeah.
So during the court proceedings, during that time, the humane officers need to provide the vet care and the care of those dogs. Sometimes court cases can take 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
So you have to hold that dog. You can't adopt it out. You can't allow it to go to a different home. You have to hold that dog in your care, or that animal in your care, through that entire process. So there's a lot more to it than just running in, saving animals, arresting people, and you move on to your next. There's a lot more
I
that's
don't
involved.
think any of us realize just how much there is to it. Now, when you get your conviction, when the person is punished for their crime, do you believe that person should ever be allowed to have a pet again?
I also believe that that's circumstantial. I do believe that they definitely, it should definitely be something that's looked at, and I relate it very closely to Megan's Law.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So, it really depends on the circumstances that are related. I can, let's just speak about an elderly person that doesn't have the money, that doesn't have the ability to recognize these kind of things. Can they get arrested? Sure. But that's not what you're going to do, right? You're going to provide them everything that they need to care for that animal for as long as they need to. And ultimately, if you have through the investigation, just recognize this animal is not going to be safe in this environment, regardless of what the intent is, then you can go through the court proceedings. So everything is circumstantial. I take every new case with a fresh set of eyes, and use that experience to build my further cases.
Thank you so much for all the great work you do for animals.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, that was fabulous. So for more information, we go to your Facebook page, and what would we search on Facebook?
Justice Rescue. Yeah,
All
look
right.
for the guys with tattoos.
And then your phone number's there, and everything else is probably right there on the Facebook
That's
page.
right. We do a lot because we're national. We do a lot through emailing.
Yeah.
So different emails are provided depending on what avenue you
And
want to go.
where you're located.
Correct.
Right. All right. So get
right.
involved. April
Thank
is
you.
National Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Month, and this is the guy that's getting it done. Thank you, Wolf.
Thank you.